2
receptacles. Hello everybody, I am going to show you today how to cook an absolutely delicious, very easy to make Valentine's 3-course meal. And we've done some searches. Our lovely Michelle, who helps us out, has searched the internet to see what people most wanted last year, and it'll probably be kind of the same this year. And what people mostly want is how to make a really good prawn cocktail. So I'm going to make a little bit of a luxury prawn cocktail. I'm going to do excellent steak and chips, and then I'm going to do a really delicious tarte. But actually that's apple pie, just cooked really, really easy way so anyone can do it. Okay, what's going on with the light? Pay attention, team. In here, I've got 200 grams of prawns and I've got 100 grams of brown shrimp. You absolutely don't have to use the brown shrimp, but in any like posher recipe for prawn cocktail, they will put in shrimp, because actually prawns can be a little bit tasteless and shrimp adds a bit of flavour and a bit of meat. So in here I've got about 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise. If you're a bit more of a cook, you could actually make your own mayonnaise, but if not, just use jarred mayonnaise. To that I'm going to add a couple of splashes of Tabasco. You don't have to. You don't have to add Tabasco, but I think it really adds a nice little kick. You like a bit of Tabasco, don't you, baby? Are you all right? You look like you're in pain.
Just make sure the camera's focused on the right thing.
Are you on my boobs? Mark! I told you not to do that. Stop it! Splash of Tabasco. You like Tabasco, don't you, Mark?
Love it.
I love this. This is just the grooviest lemon squeezer. Look at that. So you put about, I should measure it really, because I would look from eye, but it'd be easier for you if you know the measurement. Teaspoon. Oh God. A teaspoon of lemon. We should at this point put a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, but I haven't got any. So put a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. You do need it.
Have you ever been to Worcestershire?
No. A teaspoon of dry sherry or brandy. Whoa!
Hey.
Shit!
A heavy teaspoon?
I think that was a teaspoon. Sherry or brandy. Yum. That's what's making it a bit luxury. A teaspoon of tomato ketchup. Now, my mum always uses tomato puree in this because she's a bit snobby. She says, ew, tomato ketchup. But I think that slight sweetness that you get with the ketchup is nicer. Oh God, that's so nice. But remember, it's supposed to have Worcestershire sauce. You do not have to add the avocado. I know lots of people don't like avocado. If one of you likes avocado, because it's funny, a lot of men don't like avocado, do they? You do.
I remember the first time I had one, I didn't know what to expect, and then nothing happened.
What kind of thing did you think, Mike?
I thought it was going to taste sensational and exotic, and it tasted of nothing.
God, I love it.
I was a child. So it's a very grown-up taste.
What you can do, if one of you likes it and the other one doesn't, just pop it into your individual glass, the one who likes
Or
avocado.
you could divorce him and find someone who does.
Yeah, exactly. That's another very good option.
Yes.
I'm not going to serve bread with this, but if you are going to serve bread, only serve a little bit, because it is Valentine's, and if you're planning a bit of how's your father, if you eat loads of bread and steak and chips
Bit of what?
and apple pie, you're going to be...
Exhausted within seconds.
Yeah, you're not going to fancy it. See how easy this is? Oh, does that look nice now, Mark?
Oh my God.
It's so nice.
It's almost...
No, you've got to take that out. And I'm not bloody joking. I mean it, Mark. 100%.
As opposed to 95.
I mean it. Mark!
That's a nice bush of coriander.
Alright, I'm just putting in a bit of parsley.
Parsley.
Again, you don't have to, but Mark hates parsley. He thinks he hates parsley, but actually you like all my food and I use parsley a lot. It does add another little dimension of flavour, I think. I like, most traditionalists would not put parsley into their sauce, but you know what? I like the look of that, a bit of green and not just pure pink.
Yeah, I can see it.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it does just add a little bit of extra flavour.
Put dill in there.
I hate dill.
So
I hate dill.
Dill do or dill don't?
Mark! Oh my God!
It's just his Valentines.
Oh, Jesus. I put just some normal lettuce, but just a little squeeze of lemon.
It's quite a loving dish to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, when you're making this food for your partner, try and take the time to enjoy it. And don't be stressed. Look, it's really, really easy. And think nice thoughts about the person that you love. Yeah, our partners can piss us off. But like we say in our podcast this week, you know, part of Valentine's is about, I think it should be about trying to think about all the things that you like about your partner. And then that will put you in a much better mood about the whole thing. So look, we're almost done. Isn't that amazing? Pile that on top. As I was getting this all out of the fridge, Mark was like, am I going to be allowed to eat it?
That looks so good.
I said, yep, straight after filming, you can eat it. Yeah, so if you wanted to make this a bit cheaper, then don't get the shrimp. The shrimp is a bit more expensive. I think that little box cost me £4.
Ooh.
But if you were to get this, you know when you're in a restaurant, you get a tiny amount of prawns?
Yes.
I mean, look at that. Look what you can get from just doing it at home. A little bit of lemon. Oh, hang on, I'm just gonna cut that again. It's a bit thick. Again, Mark hates lemon. I love it. I can't eat fish.
I do actually like it squeezed on a...
I can't eat fish without lemon. And apparently, lemon kills bacteria, so I wonder if that's just an instinctive thing. A little bit of cayenne pepper on the top. Gives a little extra heat. Just tap it like this. Oh!
Oh, that's good.
Don't do it like that, but if you just tap it like that,
Ooh.
and just get a little sprinkle.
Oh, that's what it is whenever you're in a restaurant. Is it cayenne always?
Cayenne.
Ooh. Fresh. Ooh.
There you go. We have our starter. Da 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 da. Oh, you can break me cantaloupes, but you mustn't touch me plums. You can stroke me artichokes, but you mustn't touch me plums.
You've covered them over.
Stop it! Oh my God! Now I'm going to show you how to cook really easy, perfect steak and chips. Now, I'm going to use oven chips. A, because it's a big faff to start frying chips if you're trying to have a romantic evening. B, do you really want your hair smelling of fried chips? So I use oven chips, but I do something a little extra to them. So, a drizzle of just normal cooking oil, because it will give a bit more of a fried rather than oven chip flavour. A good sprinkling of sea salt. And then, my little magic ingredient, some garlic powder. And it just gives a nice garlicky hint to the chips. Now, Mark likes a little bit of chilli on the chips
I like
as well.
things spicy.
But you don't have to. But if your fella does, just a little sprinkling
What
of
fella
cayenne.
doesn't?
Some fellas don't.
Like spicy?
Yeah, bit of cayenne pepper. And then just make sure the chips are... This literally transforms oven chips into something really delicious. And look how easy it is. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I always find oven chips take about 10 minutes longer than whatever they say on the packet. So those are going to go in for about half an hour. So my chips have probably got about 10 more minutes, so I'm going to put my steak on. Very important.
What are you going to put it on?
I'm going to put it on.
Well,
I'm going to put it on my nice hot pan. Hand to there, that's how hot you want your pan. Listen, just a few little tips about your pan. Do not use a really thin frying pan. This is quite heavy because what happens is it's difficult to get the heat like right on a really thin, really cheap pan. So
So worth investing in an expensive pan.
well, have a heavier pan, but if you can't buy a heavier pan, buy something called a diffuser. I don't know where it is. It's a little circular thing that you put under your pans. A couple of quid on Amazon, and it would take some of the heat off. You want it really, really nice. So look, that's hot there now. That's really hot. So I've had my steak out of the fridge for about an hour or just over an hour. It's now just room temperature. If you put cold steak, I know I say this all the time, but it's really important. If you put cold steak from the fridge into the pan, you'll get tough steak. Never put the oil into the pan because it will spray and smoke and be disgusting. So I've just rubbed a bit of oil, not olive oil, just ordinary cooking oil. I'm gonna salt it, just a little bit. I'll salt it more once it's cooked, and pepper. My pan is really hot, and I'm going to, look, you can see it smoking. I'm gonna put my steak in. If I was cooking more than 2 steaks, I would only do 2 at a time. You mustn't overcrowd your pan. You want that sort of space around it. Because what you're wanting to happen is, Mark's heard me say this so many times, because I've cooked steak so many times and so many shows, you want the sugars in the meat to caramelise. Right, you've noticed that I'm only putting the salt on now, because if you say you think, oh, I'll get my meat out of the fridge, I'll put the salt on, then it's all ready to cook. Don't do that, because the salt will draw all the juice out of the meat. What we want is a gorgeously juicy, tasty steak, don't we? Bit of pepper, black pepper, not white pepper. Now, Mark, what have I not done? You know the answer to this. What have I not done?
Moved them.
I haven't moved them. Why? What would happen if I moved them?
You wouldn't get the nice caramelised closure of the meat.
Yes!
Oh.
What would happen if I put a fork in it?
You'd let all the juices out.
Yeah. What would happen if I squished it down?
Squeeze the juices out.
These are all things I see people do all the time with steak. They stand there.
Men do it especially.
They do a bit of this. They start shaking it. They start shaking it. I am not touching that steak. I am not touching it. It's just going to cook. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Can I touch it?
No! Oh, look at that.
Hello, tiger.
Look at that. So I'm going to turn that over now. Now we're going for about medium. It's really, really hard to give you timings. I literally can't give you timings because it depends how thick your pan is, it depends how hot it is, it depends whether it was cold or not. But basically what I'm looking for is, when I touch that, it's really soft. That means it would be rare now. Now, if this was for Mark, I'd take this out now because he likes it really rare. If you like it medium rare, it wouldn't spring back as much. You see, look how soft that is. That's very soft. It's starting to get to medium. And look, the blood's just coming out of there. But what, of course, when you rest it won't be bloody, because we are going to rest it. I'm just going to put that there, let that last 2 seconds, turn the pan off, and then I'm going to do something in a sec with the pan. And I'm just going to let that sit, and you will see, because it carries on cooking for a little bit longer.
That's the mistake I always make. I think I've got it to the right rarity, then I take it out, put it on the side, and it goes tough.
No, it shouldn't go tough. You wouldn't have got it to the right rate. It shouldn't go tough. It softens up more, if anything.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little salad garnish, just a little. Mark loves lamb's lettuce.
Because I think the little lamb's bouncing around it.
And I'm just going to show you how to make a really quick, easy dressing.
There they are, just sitting, minding their business.
Yummy. Okay. So, really easy actually, just let me get the dressing stuff. 1 second, come back. Really easy salad dressing, just like, this is just for 2. Half a teaspoon. This is my favourite mustard. Don't use English mustard in the dressing. Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. I love it. And then I'm going to just put like a teaspoon of, because we're only making a tiny amount, of vinegar. And then a dessert spoonful of good extra virgin olive oil. So easy.
Did you use the one I got you at Christmas?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, that's it, isn't it?
And then a squidge of salt. A little herbs. Done. You could, if you want, put a little garlic, but that's it. So we're literally just going to drizzle. We don't want to sodden it, just drizzle it. Okay, right, let's go back to our steak. A little bit more. So we're going to put some butter in. Here goes.
I love melting.
Pan is hardly on, really. I'm going to grate some garlic, just a little bit. Maybe a quarter of a garlic clove. Maybe a bit more. Almost a whole one. But of course, if you don't like garlic, don't do this bit. I'm just going to pour the juices that have now, some of them have come out from the meat.
Juicy stuff. I like that.
Little bit of parsley, teeny bit of olive oil, and we are ready. And pour that over my steak. That will then go onto the plate.
Such a simple sauce.
Just a little bit, and the rest will go on once we put it in the pan. So we're going to add our chips. You watch, any minute now the girls are going to come downstairs and go, Mum, I'm starving, because when you smell garlic it makes you starving. It smells so incredible in here.
Did you say the word chips?
Chips!
Garlic chips?
Garlic chips,
Did you say garlic chips?
Chips, oh look at those. See how much nicer they are
Yeah.
than oven chips. You would think those chips have been fried, wouldn't you?
Are they oven chips?
They're oven chips, but I put oil and
Souped
garlic.
up.
Do you not remember? You filmed
Yeah,
it.
no, I remember that. But I couldn't remember if you'd cut them up yourself.
They're sexy oven chips. Steak. Do you know, we were looking up the other day, weren't this? No, somebody told, one of the subs told us about this the other day. In America, they have something called a steak and BJ day. And apparently it's for all the men who've done all the hard work with Valentines. Can you believe it?
Well, men spend most of the money on Valentines.
There you go. Just a little last bit of that garlic and butter. Whoop. There wasn't much left. Hang on. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Oh, salad dressing.
Well, you've done the steak bit.
Mark! Just very lightly dressed. Quite a lot of flavours going on. There you go. Steak and chips for two.
They look gorgeous.
I made some pie now. Right, next, Mark. So we've got our prawn cocktail, we've got our steak and chips, and now we want our Tatin upside down apple pie. Super easy. Just follow these few steps and be a little bit careful because we're going to make caramel. So get yourself a frying pan. Now usually Tarte Tatin is made in a big circle, but I thought it might be quite fun to do individual ones. So this is actually the first time I've done this, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So I've got 100 grams of sugar. And I'm adding 100 mils of brandy. Word of caution here, got Mark's so excited because he's getting all this for his lunch today. As cameraman, stroke producer, stroke YouTube creator, you get an amazing lunch. So we're just wanting that to just cook down. We want that to melt basically, because we're making the caramel. Never, ever, ever, ever put your finger in caramel to try it. Never, ever, ever put your little spoon in to try it. It will burn like nothing else. So look, I've just cut just normal eating apples. I've used, what were they? The lady?
Coxes.
No, what were they? They weren't coxes. He just wanted to say cox.
Put them up somewhere else.
Lady, what are they called? Pink lady.
Lady Balfour.
And we've just peeled them. Mark peeled them actually for me and cored them. It's a bit annoying, they've gone a little bit brown. They were a little bit big to fit neatly in there as well. So I just peeled it a bit more. In fact, I'm going to take a, just wait there.
Oh, look. bubbling,
I
sizzling.
don't want you to see my mess over there. Just peel that a little bit more because I want to be able to tuck my... Mark, stop it!
I was going in on the apple.
You weren't.
I was.
So I just want that to be a bit looser in the dish because basically what's going to happen, that caramel is going to go onto the apples, oh delicious, and then pastry will go on top and then they go in the oven. So you've got like an upside down top because then what we'll do is turn them over, the pastry will be on bottom, the apple will be on the top, all the caramel will be down, a bit of cream.
Full actiony over here.
Okay. Cooking down, cooking down. We just want it to cook down and go nice and syrupy. Just going to turn it up a bit and you can come back in a minute. So you see that's going nice and caramelly now. See how it's gone sticky? You don't want to be stirring it, you just give it a little swirl. But again, be so careful. So about a teaspoon of vanilla. You don't have to add vanilla, but I think vanilla and apples always go really nicely together. And I'm just going to...
Well, it's like toffee apples.
So usually I would use my hands in that, but I've been burnt by caramel before and it's horrible.
Is it like a
Horrible.
horrid lover?
So I'm just going to put that on a really low heat now.
It's like toffee apples, no?
Yeah, it is like toffee apple. Spoon a bit over the top. Oh, look at that.
Oh, Maddie.
Imagine that's just brandy and sugar.
Oh.
The girls are going to have this later.
Oh, girls.
Look at that, gorgeous. Look at that syrup, that caramel. Okay, so they're just going to cook away now. So till they soften up a bit for about 5 minutes. So over here, I've got my ready rolled puff pastry. And I'm going to use a cutter that's a bit bigger than my dish. And then with your leftovers, make jam tarts for the kids. Don't let them go to waste. If you don't want your puff pastry to really puff up, and we don't for this, we want it, we want more of a flattened pastry. What you do is just get a fork and just do that. Not all the way through, just like that. Okay, so here are apples cooking away nicely. I've got the oven on 220. For me, cook's pleasures, real cook's pleasure. Look, the smell of the apples, the brandy, the vanilla, that bubbling caramel. Does it get bloody better than that? I don't think so. Mark, get off!
It does.
And I'm just going to add about 25 grams of cubed butter just in now. Just melt that in. Oh my God, look at that. Oh Mark, get a shot on that butter melting. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, all the butter melting into the caramel. Wow. Caramel onto that. Oh my God, I'm in my happy place. Does it get any more bloody gorgeous than that? I'm sorry. Mark, it's really annoying. I keep thinking you're on the apples. For God's sake, man.
You're on the apples.
I do. I keep thinking you're on the bloody apples and you're on my tits. God, this is why I don't wear dresses. I can't get anything done. Okay, so they are like softened, but you still want them to have their shape. So I'm going to put... Mark! I can't function like this.
But they've still got their...
Mark, please.
They're softened but slightly
I'm trying
hard.
to get this recipe done. Right. Stop it, I can hear you're thinking.
Oh, I'm not thinking anything.
Okay. Oh look, they fit really nicely now. They're a little cooked down. God, that is... I'm sorry.
Yeah, that looks
I'm
gorgeous.
sorry. How good is that? A little bit of extra
Oh, that
caramel.
little bit of caramel in the hole.
That's really nice. There's a bit of extra caramel. Just put that in the fridge. Have that on some ice cream. Oh. You've got to work quite quickly here, because that is very cold. I just did the thing I've told you about 10 times not to do and stuck my finger in caramel, but it was all right because it was on the apple. Actually, I'm just going to let that cool for a couple of minutes because I don't want my pastry to melt. So go away. Okay, so they've cooled down a little because, of course, we don't want the pastry to melt, do we? But we still work quickly. Oh, actually, I wonder if I should do a bit of that. I want it to be able to come out.
Oh, I see. So when they come out, they're on their own little plates of pastry.
Yeah.
Oh. Do they ever get stuck in there?
Well, actually, as you were saying that, I was really worrying because I was thinking, I've never done them in this. I hope it works okay, and I should have buttered them, and I didn't. So if it doesn't work, no, it's good you said it because I was just thinking it. I'm pretty sure it will. So that just goes into the oven for about, it could be anything between 15 and 20 minutes. I'm going to have a look depending. It's a nice hot oven. 210. The reason I haven't brushed anything on top of the pastry, of course, is because it's going to be turned upside down. So we'll have the apple on the top and then the caramel.
Oh!
Yay!
Hello.
Look at that. They're puffed up more than I would have thought, but that's fine.
I love puffed
now, this
up.
is the really difficult thing. Mark, tell people about these plates.
Well, these plates, subs, are my heritage. My great-great-grandfather ran a pottery, and if you look on the back...
There you go.
Adderley. William Alsager-Adderley.
I thought I'd use them for Valentine's.
So our family hails from Stoke.
Put a tin on top like that. Ooh. See how I'm using some nice thick gloves?
Yes. This looks like
okay.
a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, hang on. Right. And then I'm just going to really quickly turn that over. Now, please be careful. Please be careful because that is so so hot.
Oh my god, look at that! Can you touch that?
No, I shouldn't touch it, should I? I just said that.
Oh my god. They're little thingies.
Oh, look at that.
They
Little
look like
Tarte
donuts.
Tatin.
Oh,
There you go. Look at that.
Oh.
And you see how you've got...
for this moment, call you Mrs. Adderley.
Do we want 2 on there?
Yeah. Mrs. Adderley.
Look at that.
The only other person who's Mrs. Adderley is my name.
No, you can call me Mrs. Adderley.
Don't need to film your boobs when you've got those.
Isn't that delicious?
Something else.
Yummy. There you go. Upside down. So I've just whisked some double cream. I just want it soft. So you've got to, don't like go crazy with the whisk because it could suddenly really stiffen up. And I didn't put any brandy in because obviously Mark can't have brandy. But you could, before you whisk it, put a little brandy in, put a little icing sugar and then whisk it. And then that is called chantilly cream. There's cream with a bit of sugar and alcohol in it. It's chantilly. So you can say to your fella, I've done you a tatin and no, I've done you an apple tatin with a chantilly cream.
What would he say?
Lovely.